How's my lighting?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fine.
Cool.
You look dead.
I look dead.
In the best way.
Well...
Just like dead inside, that's all. Like.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Ash.
And I'm Tate.
And this is NotasFkd. I'm never going to tell you when I'm doing it. I'm just going to do it.
Good. Good. That was great.
Thanks.
That's fantastic.
Hello, how are you?
I am good.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm doing... Sorry, I am well. Thank you. How are you?
Are you sure you're okay?
No, I didn't say I was okay. I said I was doing well. My health is good.
Your physical health or your mental health?
My physical health is...
Your physical health
good.
is fine. Well, good thing this is a podcast about physical wellness.
What?
That's called sarcasm, Tatums.
Okay. I was like so lost for a second. I was like,
You think
wait,
me,
did you mean to
this
say that?
this bitch gonna do a podcast on physical health? Fuck no.
You might.
What? How to avoid?
How to avoid at all costs.
How to avoid
Yes.
any sort of physical health.
Well, I mean,
my eyesight's
speaking
pretty
of-
good.
Yeah.
That's about all I
See,
got.
there you go. How are you? How are you going, Ash? What's happening? What's the news? What's the
I
haps?
am in denial, I think.
You're in Egypt?
You've made that joke. I'm trying so hard not to bang on the table. Oh, I need something silent to play with. You have made that joke so many times, and this is episode 7.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not fucking in Egypt.
Proud of it. I'm proud of it every time.
You really shouldn't be. Yeah, I'm in denial. Well, it's
Egypt.
yeah, I don't really know if denial is the right word. But I'm kind of in a state of being so overwhelmed and stressed that I've moved past those emotions and now I just don't give a fuck.
Good.
So,
Good.
and that is why today we're talking about procrastination, because your girl done did it real bad.
Uh-huh.
So I have so much uni work to do. And I had a test that I had to do yesterday. And instead of doing the test... So I already had an extension on this test.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And instead of... Don't make that face at me. And instead of doing it yesterday... It's not like I forgot. I could have done it first thing in the morning after I took biscuits to the
chose
bed.
not to.
Instead, I came home and I actively, went out of my way to go the extra mile to clean the kitchen and to completely disassemble and reassemble the rabbit hutches. Clean it all out. And then I just sat on the couch for a bit, and then I forced Victoria to hang out. And I tried to do math homework instead. Again, instead of doing my test is not for that. And then I didn't do anything really. Just watched How to Get Away with Murder, more of that. And then we got drunk.
Yeah.
I also cancelled therapy last night because I was like, I have to work on my assignment, and didn't.
Good.
So we're talking about procrastination today.
That's procrastination. That is fantastic. That's the best lead-in that we've had. 100%. Absolutely.
I'm slowly melting.
Wow. Well done.
Thanks.
I mean, I'm not even mad.
Oh, okay.
It's very, very impressive that you went so far out of your way not to do work that you did so much more work than what you would have done had you just done the thing you needed to do.
I know.
Well done.
Thanks.
Well done.
Yeah, it's good.
Just to quickly step away from that for 1 second, I've noticed you've got an extra flicky bit on your eye this
Yes,
week.
I
You've
do.
got three. You've got
I
the
have
3 prongs.
Extra points on my face. My face is even pointier than it was before.
Can't wait.
I
for
told
next
you I'm
week.
just going to add one each time.
This is fantastic. This is what I was hoping would happen. 100%. I can see you've got the cat's tail, the cat's eye, and then the cat's
Nipple.
like when a cat does like that back foot stretch. You know how they just like kick like one leg out.
There's actually more than 3, Tate. There's 4.
Is there?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, are there?
Yeah.
So I've just realised we are even doing like procrastinating.
Yeah,
from
I was
doing the
just gonna
episode
say
right now. Oh god, this is just prime fucking example A. Wow. Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, we are.
How good's
Did
it
you
not?
know the first YouTube video that I ever made in like 2012 was on procrastination?
Mm-hmm.
And it was,
What was it?
oh, it's terrible. It got copyrighted and taken down because I had like the Gorillas or something playing in the background. But okay. It was just like me in my old house. It was just a bunch of stupid shots of me like trying on sunglasses and pretending to play video games because if I actually turned on the video games, I then wouldn't make the video. And just like lots of little, I don't even remember. I think I did like dress ups or something and I rearranged my room. That's it. That's all it was.
Oh,
I didn't say it was good.
okay. Interesting.
There you go. I don't know what I'm
Right. So what was there any reason behind that story, or that you just felt like sharing?
It's on topic, isn't it?
That's what? Well, I guess the biggest thing.
The topic's
that is
procrastination,
pretty
and
common.
the video was about procrastination, so they're related.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, sure. I guess the biggest thing, especially that we have in common right now, is procrastination with studies,
Yes.
and that's
Wait, you're studying?
definitely, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Wow, shows how much you care.
You don't talk to me about things. You just send me a text back that says mood all the time.
Mood. To be fair though, you sent me a picture of your rabbit sleeping like.
Oh yeah,
like
he
half,
was
like,
he was
looked
on
like it was drunk
anesthesia,
and
so
passed
he
out.
was passed
Oh,
out.
okay. Oh, well, there we go.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, I feel that. Yes, I am.
What are you studying?
I'm studying a diploma of IT.
Diploma of IT.
Mm-hmm. Because even though I've been working in IT for a long time, I don't have the paperwork.
Right.
So
is that like through a TAFE?
I'm studying at through Upskilled online.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So my course is completely online, which makes it extremely easy not to do anything.
Yes, so is my degree.
Yeah. But unlike yours, I don't have deadlines. So basically, I've just got a set amount of time that I have to complete everything.
That's cool.
Which is from 12 months from which I started it. And as long as I get everything done within that time frame, then it's fine. So which means I could have finished the course in 3 months if I just like flat out smashed it.
Yeah.
Or I can just take my time. And it's extremely easy, and especially because I work in IT all day, and then I stay there after work to try and focus on these videos and like things that I have to try and do. So still sitting in front of a computer or a laptop, it makes it extremely easy to be like, fuck, my eyes are tired. I just need a break. I just need to not do this.
Yeah.
I need to go for a walk, or I need to, do whatever. And it's like, yeah, I mean, especially on those days when I work like 13, 14 hours and I'm just like, not today, thank you. I'd prefer to...
Is that when I call you when you're having a nap at 6 o'clock?
Yeah, that was good. That was great. Don't be. That was very unexpected. That's good. But yeah, I was just so tired that day.
Yeah.
I was wrecked. I had to go into work early, and then I finished a little bit later, and I just came home and I was like, fuck it, you know what? I'm just going to go have a nap. And I did. And it was glorious. And then I got a phone call.
And I was jokingly like, oh, fuck, were you asleep? Sorry, get up. And then you were like, no, you were sleeping. And I was like, oh my God, you were actually asleep. I'm so sorry. I thought you were just fucking with me.
So, yeah, like we were saying, through studying and stuff, like, honestly, it's easy to just not be wanting to stare at a screen, even more so. So, usually what I do is I walk home from work, which takes about an hour. And I'm like, yeah, sweet. You know, that sort of gets me out. And sorry, I shouldn't
Nothing. Don't worry about
gesture with my hands.
No, I was going to burp into the microphone, but it disappeared. That's what I was going to put my hand up to stop you from talking. Sorry, continue.
Okay. So yeah, you know, that sort of gets me out for a while. And then by the time I get home, generally I haven't eaten. Because I just don't. I either just don't at work or I don't have time to. So yeah, usually that will be, you know, I'll spend some time making dinner, whatever it is, making something glorious or not at all, and spending about half an hour trying to decide what to eat. It's really handy because I have a Woolworths just around the corner. So yeah, it's pretty easy to just not do what I want to do and just find little excuses, little things, just little things.
That was a voice I've not heard before. Excuse me. Do not gloss over that. Try that again.
Huh?
Do it again.
What?
Don't gaslight me, bitch.
No, I was just saying, just like little things to like.
Oh, so cute.
It just reminds me of Aladdin, the genie.
Oh yeah. Oh, Robin Williams.
Amazing guy. So yeah, I mean, it's super easy just to absolutely don't put to not put any energy into what I should be doing, and I find it that like I'll just come home and I'll be like, all right, I'll sit down, and instead of staring at a screen and doing my work that I'm supposed to do, I'll stare at a screen and play games. I'll stare at a screen and watch things on my phone. I'll stare at a screen and watch The Office. I'll stare at a screen and do other things apart from staring at the screen for doing the thing that I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
Fuck.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not that I mean, to be fair, there isn't an insane amount of urgency because I do have a much wider time frame, I guess, than what you do. Because I don't have like specific deadlines to be able to, you know, you have to do this by then and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, it's a little bit more like I'm giving myself permission to be able to procrastinate because I know I've got time. But I mean, that's probably like the biggest thing that I have to do. But I mean, like there's so many. Before I actually change the subject, yeah, what is like, especially when it comes to like studying and.
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask what you were like in high school then when you did have deadlines.
High school, in school, I was a grade A top tier student.
Were you actually?
I actually was.
Wow.
Believe it or not.
Sorry, that sounded really bitchy for anybody that doesn't know how well we know each other. Like,
Wow.
we've been friends
I
for
thought you were a dumb cat.
a very... We've been friends for a very, very, very long time. So I'm sorry to be surprised that you were a smart student.
No. Thanks.
You're welcome.
That's not better. That's not.
That's not what I mean. How do I make this
not
better?
better.
I'm so sorry. What do I say? How do I fix it?
Dig up.
How?
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm a bitch. I love you.
I'm sure you are.
Wait. Excuse you?
Take that how you want. No, but yeah, I was actually, believe it or not, that's right. Believe it or not, I was actually a smart student. I was studious when it came to my student activity. Studenting.
Now, student doesn't sound like a real word.
What?
It doesn't sound like a real word now.
When I was an astute student. Studying my studies. Disco stew.
So you didn't really procrastinate and stuff like that, or you found it easy?
I found it easy in the sense that I liked school.
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't like school. School sucked.
You liked
I liked
learning.
I liked learning.
Yeah.
And then it got to about year 11, and it all went downhill from there. Ooh.
Fair.
Yeah, it was a time in my life. I think I remember in year 11 I got a single A plus, which was for media.
Yeah,
because we filmed a music video to Blink 182, and I put in like so much work. I did like a lot of the, not only starring as the alien, I'm just gonna
accept that as a yep.
Yeah, yeah. Which was so dumb. It was the dumbest music video ever. I don't know how we got such a good score from it. Like we were a team. Like we were, we had to work together. But yeah, like starred in it, shot a lot of it, and then edited all of it. And then we got an A plus, and I was like, fucking yeah, that's it, done. That was about it.
That's great.
Actually, I think in drama I did for some things, like I got some good grades, but also, I just didn't put in a lot of effort.
Yeah.
But it was my favorite subject because my teacher was like the best. Yeah, Mrs. Palmer.
Did you do like TE drama
Marion's
or anything?
The best. TEE. I don't know. What's TEE?
Did you have to do an exam for it?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Like for your
like
final
everything was like that.
year 12 results or whatever? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All of my subjects were like that. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I did non-TE religion.
So what was it like for you at school?
In high school?
Yeah.
So I really didn't like the school that I was at. I didn't really like... I hated pretty much everything about high school. But I was a smart kid, but it was the same sort of thing. Like, I was sort of going through so much that, like, I didn't really put in the effort that I probably should. I easily could have been. Like, there was... I just remembered a thing. There was a English essay, I think.
And? Just especially since you're talking about English.
There was an English essay, Tate, that I just didn't do. Like, flat out didn't do. Came to the due date. I don't know why. I literally cannot. All I remember is sitting at my desk at this interaction with the teacher, and she was like, if you don't do the essay, you'll get a 0. I was like, okay, give me a 0. Oh, that's right. I figured out that because of my grades and everything else, I didn't really have to do this assignment, and I would still get really good grade. I still got an A or whatever it was because my others, like, it wasn't heavily weighted or anything like that. But for some reason I didn't do it. I feel like we were in a show. I feel like maybe, I don't know. I can't remember what show it was, but I feel like we were in a show at the same time because I think I remember going to rehearsals the night before or the night of. I don't know what year it was, so I couldn't tell you.
Destiny. Might have been Destiny.
Wasn't I already out of school when we were in Destiny?
I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember. Anyway, it could have been fucking anything. And she was like, "Where's your assignment?" And I was like, "Honestly, I just didn't do it because I haven't had time, and I just didn't do it." And she's like, "Oh, if you don't do it, you're gonna get a 0." And I was like, "Okay, give me a 0." And she refused to give me a 0 without handing in something. I don't know. So she was like, "You have an extra 2 weeks. Get me an essay." And I just never did it. She ended up just having to give me the 0 because I wasn't going to get marks for it anyway, even if I did it. So I was like, well, I'm definitely not going to now write an essay if I know I'm just going to get a 0. Like, so I just didn't do it.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I was a smart asshole of a student. I was a dick. I was a dick. I'll put it that way. I was an absolute dick. I was very rebellious, but in a way that didn't like... What's the opposite of like not benefit? What's the opposite of benefit? Like destroy, but not destroy.
Oh my god.
Detrimental. Fuck, it's good having Victoria.
Detrimental. It's a detriment to yourself.
Yeah, so I was an asshole in every way that wasn't detrimental to like my future and stuff like that. So I did what needed to be done, and like I passed and I got good grades, and like I wasn't stupid or anything like that. I just didn't really care that much.
Just didn't.
And that was probably because I didn't really think I was gonna get past high school, to be honest. Just to get real heavy for a second there, like I didn't think I was gonna, ever be 18 or anything like that, and so I just sort of didn't care. And then that's kind of like formed, I guess, how I react to stressful situations and things like that with inside of like a educational format, is I'll get stressed and overwhelmed and ignore them. Not necessarily just put them off, procrastinate, but just flat out be like, fuck it, it doesn't really matter that much. Or, if I fail, fuck it, I can do it again if I want to. Or, you know what I mean? Like, just those little things of, like, it's not that heavy of a thing. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Does this make sense to anyone? Yeah. It's like year 12 exams. People were freaking the fuck out, stressing out to no end.
Well, yeah.
And I just didn't care.
Well, I mean, that's like, because we're told so often by everybody that year 12 means everything in your future.
Which it
like
really
year
doesn't.
12, like,
yeah.
Not at all. But like, it's such a massive burden. It's almost like fear-mongering to make you believe that if you fail year 12, then that's it.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah. And I guess I just didn't believe that, and I didn't really fall for that. And I just kind of like, I was literally the most calm person in my school as we were going into exams. And it was like, I would get in there and occasionally I would freak out about like questions and stuff like that. And then I'd be like, oh, well, what am I going to do about it? Like, it's just, and I guess some of that's kind of followed me through to stuff like this, where I think as well, because I've said it before, but this is so I'm doing a double degree, but this is actually my second and third university degree. So I already have a degree in screen production in media.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing 2 bachelors of science, which is criminology and cybersecurity. And I just have this like thing in the back of my head of, it's going to take me longer, but I'd rather not stress myself out and work myself to death than take an extra term to do the course. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if I sound ridiculous or not right now.
I mean, always, but that's completely different.
You're not wrong. But, and I guess I'm like that with work too. I'm like, it's just a fucking job. I swear I don't have like object permanence sometimes. Like, like I just don't see the point in stressing out and having all, I guess because I consistently just have feeling negative emotions all the time anyway. I'm like, why would I add to that? You know, why would I purposefully add to that when I can just quit? I can just leave. I can just call in sick. I can just ask for an extension, or I can just, you know, withdraw from the unit, or I can just, it's too late to withdraw. I can just fucking fail it and do it again. Like, you know? But then there's also like a tiny little mildly neurotic part of me that's like, you need to, you know, you're wasting money or whatever it is. You know, you do enjoy it, so you should, you know, just suck it up and get it done or whatever it is. But that voice very rarely wins.
Yeah.
But I tend to procrastinate, like I said at the intro to this, I tend to procrastinate by doing, you said you procrastinate by doing like little things. I procrastinate by doing big things. So instead of doing the test, I took like 3 or 4 hours and I was like, I'm going to do this thing that I've been procrastinating doing. You know, like it changes my priorities. Like I look at the rabbit's hutch and like, because it's like a wire outside, just like on the floor, the hay and stuff that they throw around or their toys and that sometimes gets out, so it gets stuck between the hutch and the wall. And to clean that, I would have to, you know, disturb them and pull everything out away from the wall so I can sweep it, whatever. And I was like, oh no, that's a bit too much effort, whatever it is. So I just sort of don't go that deep into it. And like cleaning in the kitchen, I wipe down the bench tops and stuff every single day. But I also was like, oh, I'm going to take apart the oven and clean it yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, I just put all the effort and energy I should be into the other thing into other big things. I guess so then it doesn't feel as bad, maybe?
Into the other things. So those are things that you've already procrastinated on, that are on the list of things to do.
They're not necessarily on.
So then you just
they're on like a standby list of, if I have time, I could do that if I wanted to, but it's not necessary. Like, I don't have to do it. It's an optional thing.
Okay.
You know, like
right.
it's just like little bits of hay and stuff like that were behind the thing. The oven's actually not at all dirty. It just needs a bit of a scrub. It's not like it's detrimental and it has to be done. It's just like, oh, I could probably do that one day. Like, if I've got time, I'll do that one day. So instead of doing the important thing, my wait list takes over. And I do the things that I'm like, you know, not too sold on.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about it then. I wonder if that's because, like, if I put a lot of energy into the other waitlist things, then I'm like, well, I'm not just sitting in front of the TV. You know, I'm getting things done. But then I also have days where I do just sit in front of the TV.
Okay. So it's more that you're putting things off because it's not necessarily that you're not doing things, because you're still doing something.
Yes.
Some of the time.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
okay.
So you put forward yourself a list of things that you can do. You then tick those things off when you procrastinate, when you should be doing something else. But that also means that you've got those things done. So that's a productive procrastination.
It's anti-productive productivity, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. because I'm
That's
not
a good way to
being
put it. Yeah.
I'm not being productive in the way that isn't necessarily the most important, but I'm still doing things that mean I'm being productive. Yeah, anti-productive productivity.
It's good. It's good.
Another new term.
It's yeah. Yeah, sweet. Okay.
Yeah. So like I pretty much completely took apart the oven. I went and I scrubbed down all like the front of the like cabinets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And just like lots of things. Like I went and tidied up. I was gonna vacuum and stuff like that. There's just all sorts of extra things that I was doing. But then, this is an episode where I talk the whole time again. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Oh, shut up. You want to talk?
No, it's the point.
Yeah,
it's the point of
I know,
a podcast.
I know,
is to speak.
I know, but there's two of
It's
us.
all right. Talk. Go. Go.
I'm so sorry.
Speak your mind, child.
So there are times where I'll get... I don't know if this is me going a little bit manic, where I get like hyper organized kind of thing. Like I get to the point of procrastination where things pile up so much that I'm like, fuck, now I gotta deal with it. It's like Flubber when he gets too big.
What an absurd reference. What? Like, that was amazing, don't get me wrong, but where did that, I just, yeah, okay, carry on.
I don't know.
Carry on. No, it was awesome. It was awesome. It was just like, what the fuck? Oh, that was great. Sorry.
So my pile of things I should be
Just like
doing
Flubber.
start little.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of, especially with uni work, they just kind of build up. Especially with these weekly tasks and stuff like that for programming, like they just build up. And then they get to the point of being so big that they're kind of like, oh, well, it's not that much of an easy fix now. And then that's when I sort of... So I emailed my professor and I was like, hey, I fucked up. And I have now like 8 tasks that are overdue. And help me. So she's like, okay, well, let's do it this way. So like she gave me a list of like new due dates essentially to help me sort of catch up. And then I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, I can do that. I'm just, for people not watching the video, I'm just getting my university diary out. And
Ashley is flipping through her diary.
and I was like, okay, no worries, I can do that. And then I went in to my diary and I wrote down what tasks are due when, and like I put gold stars on there when I submitted an assignment. And like I did assignments that were like not necessarily due yet, but I knew I could do easy to get them out of. I punched the microphone. Sorry. To get them out of the way. I like wrote down what week's readings and lectures I've done, and then I crossed them off. And then I've got like assignment prep ones, and then I've done them all for like the next couple weeks for the entire term. You can see all these ones here are all like multiple tasks due on multiple weeks because they're like credit and distinction activities and stuff like that.
Right.
And I could easily change my grade target. So I could change it from wanting like...
That's right. Yeah, you were saying.
Yeah, so your house is about to fall.
Yeah, carry on. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, so at the start of the term, you choose what grade you're going to go for, and I chose distinction because high distinction is like the A+, and that was a little bit too much work with the fact that I'm already doing full-time uni, but I was also like, well, I don't just want a credit, which is essentially like a B- kind of thing, so I went with distinction. So I could even bring my thing down to just a pass so that I just pass the unit, but I have a complex where I want to do better than that. So
Good.
I could sort of solve all my problems by just changing my units down to a pass, but instead I'm like, no, I'm gonna try and do more work. And yeah, so now I'm trying to do that. And so yesterday was the test, and I think the main reason I'm procrastinating on the test is because every other week you get chances to redo things.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get second chances in this test. And it's a full 2 hour, like they said it might take you 120 minutes to do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, right. Okay. So I guess that's kind of like
Pause
like
for
what
plane.
we were talking about.
Bitch, you didn't even blink. Resume.
So I guess
Pause.
that's kind of like what we were talking.
Damn it.
Hey, whoa there, whoa.
That's okay.
I'm not a mouse. I'm not a monkey.
A mouse.
Just be like, I don't know why I said mouse. I meant to say monkey.
What has a monkey got to do with that? I thought you were a
Yeah,
robot.
you're like, dance, monkey. Don't even worry about it.
All right.
Don't even worry about it. So, what was I saying?
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of like we were talking about a couple of weeks ago when you had the brain explosion of putting things off, or saying like that fear of failure or that fear of success.
That
thing,
episode didn't come out.
Okay, well then that's right. Don't worry about it.
That was the episode that got trashed because the audio was shit.
All right, cut this whole bit then. So
I don't think that's related though. Anyway, if you want to bring that up some other way.
no, but that's like I feel as though there is a massive thing when it comes to procrastination of definitely when it comes to a fear of failure. Like it's definitely something that comes up that so many different people experience in slightly different ways, obviously. But when it comes to the fear of failure, and it's much easier to put something off because if you're not doing it, then you haven't failed. But it also, at the same time, if you're not doing something, you haven't succeeded.
I think.
So you're sort of stuck.
Yeah, I think that sort of applies with like projects and
a lot
things
of
like
things,
that.
really.
Yeah, most things. But I think when I think about like uni and studies, if you procrastinate on like what I'm doing now and I just don't do it, I have failed. Do you know what I mean? I think the fear of failure sort of comes in if you don't start it either. But once you start it, if you don't finish it, whether that's because you actually just get things wrong or you just stop or you drop out, whatever that is, probably seen more as failing. Unless you like physically withdraw from like a unit or quit or whatever it is, then that's not necessarily failing. That's just choosing to do something else. But I sort of don't agree that it falls in with procrastination. Not in a sense of school and study anyway. Because once you've started, you've started. And unless you like drop out or withdraw, then, and if you just procrastinate, put things off and don't do it, then you do fail because you haven't done the assignments and stuff, but you've also not removed yourself from having to do the assignments. Does that make sense?
I mean, kind of, but so what I'm getting at is that it's easy to procrastinate on something because you're scared of an outcome.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's more of what I was getting at, and it's a lot easier to procrastinate from doing something. And when it comes to, and I guess outside of the realm of studies or something, like at home, like if you've got something awesome that you're working on, like if I've got something, a piece of music that I'm working on, and I just make layers and layers and I make different soundtracks and the thing goes for like 15 minutes and I'm like, I really don't want to finish this because I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. So I'll procrastinate by doing other things within that project and like tweaking little things and just like, and the thing could have been finished like months ago.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't want this experience to end. So I'm going to keep doing things that are completely nonsensical because it doesn't make sense, because
Yeah.
the thing's over.
And that's
Like,
a
it's done.
completely different form of like procrastination. That's like almost like a positive version of procrastination. Like you're putting it off because you're enjoying it.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because that's not something I've ever experienced.
No.
I'm just like, nah, fuck
Well, there
this.
you go. Well, it's like, have you ever played a game that, you know, instead of just doing the main quest, you go out and try and 100% the thing? You know, try and get all the collectibles and explore all the maps.
I don't think
and,
that's
you know, do all that sort of
procrastination
thing.
though. Like that's part of the game. That's the goal. Like that's a goal you can have within the game. I'm not sure that's procrastination.
Yeah. No, but it's like because I mean, the main game you can just go through.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do everything else. And there's a lot of people that don't complete a lot of the games because they're like, I just want to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to, you know, collect everything. I don't need to talk to all these people and all that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Has there been something perhaps within a game that like you've nearly finished it and you're like, oh, maybe I'll just do this other stuff instead, these other things?
No.
Because that in a sense is like, even if you're like, oh well, now I want to 100%, I want to complete this game entirely because I'm so close. And that's sort of I guess procrastinating on a very singular level from completing the game.
Right.
That's a very positive procrastination because you don't want this joyous, you know, experience to end. You want to go and
I've
and
never
extend
experienced
this,
that.
and you want to go and
No, like that sort of positive procrastination is not something I've ever come across or even like thought was a thing.
Okay.
I think because like in games and things like that, like you can, if you really enjoy it, you know, you can do extra things or you can go back and do it again, or there's like, I don't know. I think with video games, like if I was procrastinating on, I don't know, I guess because it's a joyful hobby.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if there's a game that I'm playing that I don't like, I'm just going to stop playing it.
Yeah.
You know, and to me, procrastination is putting something important that you have to get done off.
But see, that's where it's really strange to think about procrastinating not as just a bad event. It also is something that can be a positive thing. And I think it's really, like, important to think about, like, in yourself, like why you're putting something off, and is it going to negatively affect you? My brain just broke. Is it going to negatively affect you, or is it going to positively affect you?
I guess you can also take
that
sort of like, how is it going to affect you, in the sense of like, all right, I'm just going to go back to school because that's literally all my brain is thinking about, and
that's fine.
actively trying to not think about at the same time. Putting off this assignment and finishing this unit, it's going to negatively affect in terms of how long I have to be studying this for. I'm gonna have to do it eventually because that's a core unit, whatever. Or I'm gonna fail, or I'm just gonna, you know, tank the units but still owe the money, whatever it is. Or on the other side of that, it's like, yes, well, all that could happen, but if I try and force myself to do this assignment or whatever it is that going to negatively impact me personally and, you know, my sleep pattern? And then it's like a domino effect of like mental health effects and stuff like that. And I think that's where my brain sort of kind of overrides the panic on the opposite side of that. And my brain's like, well, no, don't do that thing, because you're just going to get fucking stressed about it and you're going to get upset, and then it's just going to be all sorts of things. Whereas if you just can it, try again another time, your brain will be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Does that English make...
English makes good
English makes good?
sense.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I think like the positive side of procrastination is you're sort of almost like giving yourself room to breathe with some things. And like you're kind of allowing yourself to, yes, there'll be like negative consequences for X, Y, and Z, but what are they really worth in comparison to like your fucking sanity?
Yeah, and I think that's where it comes into you have to ask yourself why you're procrastinating on a subject. You know, is it, and you have to really ask, like, are you procrastinating for like an emotional thing? Are you procrastinating because it's like a difficult task? Is it because it's something that's overwhelming? Is it something that, like, there's so many different reasons to procrastinate on subjects that you have to ask, why is it important to you?
Yeah. What am I valuing more over this right now, and why?
Yeah.
I think if I was going to ask that to myself right now, I would say that I'm valuing my free time more over than the unit itself, because I feel like, and Tanna said it the other day, I'm constantly studying all the time because there's so many things that I want to be doing and like what I'm enjoying doing. And I'm pretty much always have some sort of study material open and working on it. And the 2 units of the assignments that I have to bring up, I do really enjoy my programming unit. I do enjoy coding. It is fun, but there's just a lot to be done each week. Like, they want so much from you, but they also, like, I'm doing 4 units at once, which is like full-time study. That's normal, right? But they all want like fucking 100 hours a week or whatever bullshit it is. Like, and it's just ridiculous. It's just too much. And then the other one that I'm doing, which is, I think, the assignment that I'm really putting off, which is database management, which literally is the most boring thing I have ever experienced in my life. And I used to go to church as a child. Did you like that?
That's good.
Thanks.
That's good.
The week fucking 1 or 2 slides he put up had 89 slides for database.
What?
And it's a fucking introductory unit.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. And like, he's like, oh, read the book. It's like, okay, what? He's like, just read the whole textbook. Are you fucking kidding?
Just for fun.
Yeah, and like the assignment that he put out for this, there was literally this massive email chain of just students being like, this is appalling. This unit is disgustingly structured. You need to figure your shit out. I can't believe this has been approved. Like, it's just ridiculous. And I hate it. And that's the other one that I have to do this weekend. Because guess what? It's a fucking core unit, so I have to do it to get my degree. And it's already like week 5. Week 6 coming up, so like we're halfway through the semester, the term, trimester. I do trimesters, sorry. And it's just like, it's just so fucked up. It's so fucking stupid, and it infuriates me. So I value my free time, and actually sort of, especially like this last 2 weeks where I've actually been feeling okay. And I haven't been, like, as depressed as I usually am. And it's like, I would really like to enjoy this feeling, you know? And not just sink all of my time into fucking doing what some guy thinks is important because he gets a hard-on for databases or some shit. Like, you know? I just... Sorry, I fucking hate that unit.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just, I'm valuing my free time more over than the what somebody else deems is important for me to know at this very minute, you know?
Yeah, of course.
I think that's what, like, yeah, I think that's what my answer would. I think if I dropped, it's too late now though, like, see, I could do it, but I feel like it wins if I drop the database unit, and do it another time.
Don't do it. Show that fucking database who's boss. You just be like, database, shit. You ain't shit. Hey?
Do you want to help me do my assignment
Fuck
later?
ya. Fuck your chicken strips.
Fuck your chicken
Hey?
strips. Help me do my
I'm gonna
assignment
do
later
it, and then you can fuck off.
then. Yeah, I know, and that's why, like, I just want to get it done and over with, but also fuck this.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'd be fine, I'd be enjoying it. So, I don't know. Especially because, like, now that I'm not working, like, and with the lockdown and everything, like, my entire adult life, I've really valued my time being at home rather than being at work. And now all I have is time at home. But it just fills up with, like, chores and shit, and then study. And it's driving me nuts.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Well, I guess that's especially now, everybody being at home, it really comes a time when it would be helpful for yourself to organize things, make a list of things and prioritize what is important to get done. And, like, especially when you're at home, I know for myself, like, I'm working, I'm literally just sitting here all day, and I've got my TV there, I've got my fridge over that way, and, like, I've got my balcony, and I can go out there and I can just, like, be in the sun, and it's like there's so many other distractions and things that I could be doing. But obviously I need to sit and do work, and it's like, oh, okay, BRB, I'm just going to make some food, and then I'll go and make some food, and I'll sit down and I'll be like, oh, I should probably clean that up. Oh, but I'll do that later. It's all right. I've got to,
Yeah.
do this first. And, and then things sort of, like, pile up within yourself that you really become, like, almost blind, and you become really focused on the particular thing. You become really blind to your surroundings.
Yeah. That's that's like, the hyperfocus I was talking about the other week.
Yeah. It's like, if I was just, like, going to work every day, and then I came home and there was just, like, a coffee cup sitting here, I would just be like, why the fuck didn't I just put that in the bin? Like, what? That's dumb. Put that away. But then, yeah, I'll just leave that there for the day. I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's not like the bin's that far. It's just over there.
Yeah.
It's, you know what I mean?
And I was just...
And it's
I
like
think you're
these
so
little
right.
projects.
Yeah, I think you're so right. Because, like, when I was working, because I was a receptionist and the business had... I dropped the ruler I was fiddling with.
Good one.
I need to bring a deck of cards in here to play with instead, because they're quiet. The reception job that I was working before, like, we were pretty quiet business. And so there wasn't that much for me to be doing. So during the day, I would work on my uni stuff, and I get it all done at work. And then I could come home and be at home and enjoy home, and occasionally I'd have to do a little bit extra for an assignment or something, but it wasn't all the time. And I could be doing other things, like that's when I was streaming and stuff like that. But now I'm just like, when I want to turn off, like, the study and stuff like that and play games, I can't bring myself to stream it because I just want to shut off and not be, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want it to be like an active activity, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's a lot right now.
Good. So I guess when it comes to procrastination, then let's talk about the things that we do to help overcome, this procrastination. Like, what do you do in terms of, and like you've already said, like your lists, like even though you procrastinate on one thing, you eventually get to it. So like there's kind of like this trade-off there. But do you actively seek to, push yourself out of that procrastination zone?
So
like, when especially when there's something important.
Yes.
Like how do you get that? How do you overcome that?
Yeah. So like like I was saying before with the giant flubber, is once it gets sort of a bit too big where like I can't really ignore it. Like I was saying before with the giant uncontrollable flubber, is that once it gets too big in my headspace, so like it fills up a room kind of thing, I kind of, the way that I get myself out of it is a little bit mental. Well, no, it's not, because I'm sure other people do it too. That's the point of this podcast, is so the way that I kind of do it is I kind of like berate myself. So like say I'm sitting on the couch and I'm playing Stardew Valley on the Switch, and I have a bunch of things that need to be done, and they need to be done today. I cannot put them off. They've just got to get done. So I will literally stop everything I'm doing, put the Switch down and go, just fucking do it. Don't like stop putting, like I have to actually out loud speak to myself and be like, just fucking do the thing. Suck it up.
Pep talk.
Do the thing. Yeah. Yeah, I
Do it.
I don't know if it's a pep talk, because it's like, it's not that fucking hard. You're being a little bitch. Just get up, do the thing, write a list, follow the list, just suck it up and fucking do it. Like, and I have to just give myself that like tough love of just ignore everything else and just on that,
Do it.
Yeah. And it doesn't always like work. It'll work for a bit, and then it'll sort of other emotions or other priorities start taking over, and then I get sidetracked, and then I have to just keep going over the process, or I just kind of, like I said before, get hyper focused and I just get it all done, and then I feel better.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of self yelling.
Self yelling.
Or like, it's a lot of internal aggression, maybe. I don't really know how to, but that's what I do. And there's probably healthier ways to do that. But
I'm sure there are.
But that's what I do.
But
yeah.
So when you do that, and you give yourself the angry pep talk, does that make you feel negatively about either yourself or what you're doing?
No, it kind of like, if it was someone else, yes. But if it's because it's me, it doesn't necessarily make me feel, it doesn't necessarily affect me negatively. It just kind of like gives me motivation to do the things, and then it gives me an excuse to do the procrastination things afterwards. It's like people that need to be yelled at for motivation when they go to the gym. I hate that. Like other people yelling at me, but I can yell at myself and it works.
Stop yelling at me.
Yeah.
I'm trying my best.
Yeah, but like if it's me yelling at me, it's fine. I don't know what that's about, but what about you? Or how do you get yourself out of the procrastination loop?
Honestly, like it's hard to exactly pinpoint like a specific thing, because like sometimes like I will just put things off, and then when you just get those sudden bursts of inspiration or those bursts of energy or something, and you're like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this right now. And then you do it, and it's like, fuck, yes, that was great. Okay, I'm gonna do this now. I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna carry on, and I'm gonna continue that energy, and I'm just gonna like fucking run with it, see how long it lasts for, and then come crashing down. All right. But like, yeah, sometimes that is just, I don't know why, and it's not drugs, believe it or not, but it just like sudden bursts of energy. Well, I mean, unless you count coffee, but you know, but it's like that happens to me a lot. But it also happens, yeah, obviously in, you know, the negative way as well, where I will just have like
None.
absolutely zero motivation. There will be nothing that is carrying me, and I'm like, I've got to do this, I've got to do this, I've got to do this. No, I'm not doing it. I am absolutely not doing it. So yeah, when it comes to that, like that's really good. Like the other day, I was just listening to Spotify, and then this song came on, and I was like, holy shit, like I want to learn that on guitar. I want to do that right now.
Oh, wow.
And I was working from home that day, and I just fucking did it
Did the
instead
thing.
of doing work. Well, not instead of doing work. Okay. Well, it was on my lunch break, but I was like, you know, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And like that was a very spontaneous burst of energy and motivation that just sort of drove me to do that. Whereas like there's so many other songs that I've listened to that I have been like wanting to like create a version of, you know, my own sort of Tate-licious version of a song or something that I just haven't done. And it's like when I think about it, I'm like, oh, I really want to do that. But then when I think about it and I think about how I do music, and it's like, I know that if I start that project, it's going to be such a big thing and I'm not going to be happy with it. And, you know, all this X, Y, Z, all of this shit. So I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
When it comes to just like studies and things like that, I find that the best way that I work personally is just setting myself goals. And I know this sounds bad, but it's like, what is the minimum amount that I can do to be happy that I've done? So, you know, you should be doing like 15 hours a week or, you know, whatever it is, right? But that on top of working full time doesn't leave me with much time left in the week.
Yeah.
So it's like, what is the minimum amount I can do so that I don't fall too far behind? Because I'm happy to fall like a little bit behind, because once again, like that's just the recommended layout of what they say to do each week, blah, blah, blah. And what I'm doing in 2 weeks' time is actually taking time off of work to fully focus on studying, and then I can just smash out a whole bunch of it then. So it's like, what is the minimum amount that I can do to be okay with myself? So is it like, if I know that I don't do anything in a week, sometimes I'm okay with that, but then other times I would just get so angry at myself for not doing that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everyone does, when they just think like, why I wasted this time, I didn't do this, which can then spur on this procrastination as well, because it's like, well, if I did it then, I can do it now.
Yeah. I've already
Or
fucked it
if
anyway.
I've already fucked it, or now at this point the workload is too big. It's going to be hard to keep doing that.
Flubber got too big.
I've got other priorities. Flubber got too big. And it's like all these other things. So what is like the minimum amount that I can do? Because even if I do half an hour each day,
Yeah.
that's still 2.5 hours, you know, just from the work week.
Quick math.
And it's like, then I can quick math. So then I can, you know, I can have my weekends.
Yeah.
Or if I don't do it during the week, can I then spend 2 hours on the weekend just getting some stuff done?
Yeah.
You know, what can I do as a what can I do? And it's a pretty kind of shit way about thinking it, but it's also a good way to
I like
motivate myself, because I know it's like, what is the minimum amount I can do? Technically, the minimum amount is fucking nothing, right?
It's like the threshold of balance, really, there, where you need to balance your commitments versus sort of your sanity, essentially.
Yeah.
So you don't overdraw yourself and burn out too.
Yeah.
You don't want to burn out, but you also don't want to, fall behind and then just have to sort of like give it up, or just, let it go and start again and all that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of balancing. And I think the best way that I'm trying to get through it is just practicing it. But yeah, and I guess because especially now for me, like with the way everything is, and I bet for a lot of people right now, it's all like a new way of living that we're sort of going through. And it's just, that's kind of a shitty solution, but it's just like time and practice, I guess, to sort of get through it to a point where like you're comfortable, or you at least understand what you can do to make things better for yourself.
And that's where it comes to internal motivation.
Yeah.
But also a big thing is, external motivation. Like, for instance, when you've got deadlines to meet for your things, or you have to do something at work, or for somebody, because you know that you want to please them, you want to not have a certain view of them.
You want to satisfy everyone.
Posed upon yourself. You want to satisfy them. So, like, having these, but not only that, like, external motivation can also be someone who is there to support you. Or but it's like having someone that is, perhaps you want to get something done because you want to show them. You'd be like, or tell them about it, and you're like, hey, I just did this. And, perhaps you want to hear, like, this positive feedback, and,
words of affirmation, beach.
Words of affirmation, exactly. That's exactly it. You want them to say, like, good job, like, that's awesome, keep going. So it's important to, like, have the internal motivation to try and get yourself through something, but also it might be a good idea to have that external motivation. On a completely separate level as well, because it isn't just yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to do things for
and
other
it's
people.
knowing the kind of motivation you need as well. Like before that,
exactly,
my internal motivation is anger, whereas my external motivator is positivity. Whereas, it might be the other way around. You need to be like, I can do this, and then somebody else be like, yeah, you can, but you're not getting this until you do the thing.
Yeah. So it's always good to it's always good to ask yourself, what would it mean to you to finish this task? What would it mean to somebody else if you finish this task? It's good to sort of find out perhaps why it is you're putting something off, why you're procrastinating on it. And perhaps even connecting that emotion to why you need to do it.
Yeah.
And not necessarily it can happen in a negative way, but it's like, what will help you, what will make you feel better by doing this task?
Yeah.
But also, why will it make you feel worse if you don't do this task?
Yeah.
And trying to sort of find a middle ground onto, those sort of subjects as to help you spur yourself on.
Yeah.
Try and motivate yourself and get that internal motivation, to get something done. So it's like for me with my, getting that repeating tasks, getting that half an hour done. I do that half an hour and then I'm like, yeah, cool, that was it. tick that off. Now I'm done for the day.
Yeah.
You know, come back at it again tomorrow.
So I think that the best way that, like, I guess you can sort of phrase it is the best way for us, and probably for a lot of people out there, to sort of get past the procrastination sort of struggles and cycle, is to just really reflect on why you're doing it, and then ask yourselves questions of what you value and what you can sort of get out of it, what you need to get out of it, kind of thing, and just asking yourself. So it's a lot of self-reflection, I think, to be able to do stuff like that, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's good to find out how you can better get into a task, because if you have a night out on the piss and then you get really wasted, you wake up in the morning, you're going to have no energy to be able to do anything. You know, say you've got housework that you want to get done or anything like that. You're not going to be able to get that done. So
yeah, you're just going to want to lie on the couch.
Of like lying on the couch, and that might be something that is good for you. You know, letting yourself recover first. I mean, that's just an example. There's, you know, lots
but
of
it comes back to knowing what you need.
Really cool.
Yeah. I think a cool note to sort of end this week's episode on is probably like you know, don't try not to burn yourself out. Try not to give up on the things that you want. Just pause, take a breath, sort of do a little bit of internalizing, think about what you need, what can possibly help you, set yourself some sort of goal or a time limit. Like you said, I'll play games for half an hour, whatever, and then go back to doing what you're doing, and get yourselves a hype man.
I like to be your hype man when you show me like cool things that you've done.
Thanks.
Like with your embroidery and stuff, and you're like, hey, look at it. I'm like, fuck yes, that's rad.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
so
get yourselves a Tate.
Yeah, well, yeah, sure, do it. Everyone, send me cool things that you've done.
Yes, do it.
Send me cool things that you're proud of.
We'll hype you up.
Hell yeah, we'll hype you up.
Hell yeah,
'cause that's awesome. But
everybody procrastinates,
send us cool
though.
Things.
Everybody procrastinates. And that's
absolutely,
you know, not an odd thing. Everyone does it. You're not as fucked as you think. Yeah. I'm so lame. Anyway, thanks so much for listening or watching. Check out our
that's really cool.
Website.
Where can they find us at?
Check out our website for all things podcast. It's got literally everything on there. Links in the description.
Good. That was the best one so far.
I've been Ash.
And I have been Tate.
And this has been NotasFkd. We'll see you next week. Bye.
See ya.